hello. Welcome to the Top 4 podcast, VARguably the best football podcast in the world. With myself, Brendy, and the four of us lads, we've got Yoki Chan. How you doing, Yoki? You having a good? You look happy on a Monday. How you doing?
Yeah, man. It was that in the world.
My inner
Smooth.
Jeremy Clarkson there.
In the world. Yeah, man, I'm
and
good.
then we got Nath. How you doing, bro? You good? Yeah, good. And then we got Pash. How you doing, man?
All good.
Good stuff. Well, it feels like we haven't caught up in a while, but we're going to have a good little chat about the current affairs in football. And as usual, I'm going to introduce it and then say nothing, let you guys speak. Because the first thing we're going to talk about is Gareth Bale, who has definitely turned around, or at least started to play a lot better football in the last couple of weeks in the Europa League. And not just the Europa League now, scored 2 this weekend against Burnley.
And
an assist. Yeah.
He's back, baby.
I wish I could see into the future, because then I would have signed him on my fantasy team and triple captained him.
It's quite a lot of people who did that this week.
I know it's freaking. I was actually thinking about doing it. I know everyone can say that. I didn't do it, so I can't say I'm a genius. But I thought about it. I put Kane in and triple captained him.
How did he get on?
Not good enough. Got a goal, but he didn't. Because I think he didn't do enough. But they got playing Fulham later on. Anyway, about Bale.
Actually, before we do go any further, I don't know if any of our 30 listeners would have remembered, but I still think there's a forfeit to be done, boys.
Yeah,
there is. Yeah,
you're right.
If anyone who listens to that podcast is still listening to us, anyway.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But just to let everyone know, we did a little wager on the weekend, predictions, champ, obviously.
I was hoping it'd slip away and, our 30 fans, my mum and that wouldn't bring it up. But
I feel like,
next time.
I feel like, we've talked about some other ideas. We're now going into it. Some more ideas for the podcast. I reckon we should all be together when we do that. Obviously, COVID safe, but it'd be quite funny if we were us three were together. Jack can, you're good with a camera, Jack. You can hold it, and we'll just fucking take it there.
I probably just feel like I'm missing out then. No, I'm just watching you probably have a good time.
Get involved as well if you want to.
No.
You sure?
That sounds good to me. Yeah. Get the chilies in then, lads, as soon as we can.
I've got that curry that Danielle bought me. It's like the hottest curry in the world. So she wants to try that this week. So I'll let you know I get on with that.
Lads,
that'd be an idea.
I've been known to have a korma and be like, it's got a bit of a kick to it. So my ass is going to be in fucking bits.
That's the thing. Like my missus will be like, get a takeaway. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm not buying you a korma. Like if you want a korma,
that's true.
We'll go Tesco. I'll go Tesco and buy you a ready-made korma, and I'll order my takeaway. Like, what's the point?
Wasn't it your idea? Wasn't the chili thing your idea?
Yeah, I didn't think I was going to lose, did I? Didn't think I was going to lose.
It's mad though that all 3 of you finished on the same points. That's crazy. I didn't think that would happen. But hey, I got gold medal. I'm good.
It's coming. It's definitely coming. I think.
There we are. Then, if anyone's interested, when we can finally get together and record, a proper podcast, we're all together. The 3 of them going to do a chili beforehand, and it'll just be a laugh.
Lovely.
Lovely.
Got to be a laugh now. Jack said it is.
back to Gachi Bale. It's mad how much things can change in a week, because people saying he's the biggest flop. He scores a couple of goals.
He still is right now, though.
Yeah, he is. He
still is now. That hasn't changed.
I mean, who's he scored against? He scored and assisted against Burnley. And
what was that team they played in the Europa League?
Brass Wop or something?
Was it Pellets?
I don't think any of us can pronounce it.
Something weird like that. So
it was Wolfsberger.
Was it Wolfsburg?
Yeah. No, Wolfsburg. No. Different one. Wolfsburg.
Not the Wolfsburg.
They're ugly cousin.
Yeah, it's very similar to Wolfsburg, though. He scored against them as well, didn't he?
So we've been poor opposition, and you expect Gareth Bale to be able to score against those, but he's looking good, isn't he?
I think with Bale, right, I think he decides on the morning how much effort he wants to put in, if you ask me.
Depends if you put a round of golf in.
Exactly. I think as long as he's got his golf in, which I completely appreciate, obviously. If he's managed to get 18, then he's probably like, I'm free today now. Let's go get a couple of goals in. But in other days, he probably just put his boots on. I'm like,
I'll be fucked.
Play shit in golf, can't be asked.
Do you feel like Do you reckon he thinks he's a bit too big for Spurs and the team and that? Do you think he's just like, I've won the Champions League and that? Like,
I don't
know. Yeah,
I don't know. I think when you add Mourinho in there, do you know what I mean? Like that makes them a bigger proposition. It's not like, you know, I don't know. They've had some good managers recently, but you know, Mourinho is one of the top 10 managers in the world. Let's just put it
Superstar.
politely. And then you got someone like Harry Kane in the team up front. I don't know. I don't think they're definitely not too big.
Hunger. It's definitely the hunger.
I think it's the hunger, definitely.
Yeah.
I think, you know, there was the talks of him going China and not just like rumors. It was like there was everyone really thought that was going to happen, and that would be like
I think Zidane blocked it. I think just the only reason they go through is Zidane blocked it.
It was last minute as well, wasn't it?
Yeah. And I think that's why they fell out.
I think that says a lot about it. I think he has to. So yeah, obviously he's just played well on the weekend. He's done well in the Europa League. You know, Tottenham bias, you guys accuse me of. They've not had a good season, but they have not had the worst season. And if they somehow turned it around now and they forget top 4, which is still possible, I don't think that will happen. If they got top 6, which is possible, and they win the Carling Cup League Cup, or they win the Europa League, and Bale has an influence in that, then the Bale signing suddenly looks like a good signing, and it's been okay.
He seems to be back to fitness a bit now, but I think that was the first time he played with Son and Kane, whereas before he's been playing with like the B side basically in the Europa League.
I was going to say,
or subbed on for one of them usually, isn't it? When one of them's been out. He's been
injured
quite a lot this season.
I was going to bring up those 3, and for me on paper, that's the best front 3 in the league.
Well, yeah, and I also think Lucas Moura doesn't get enough credit. I think he's a very, very good player. And I think I said to you guys in our group chat, that 4, you know, that's a pretty good front 4 in the league, you know.
If you can get Bale back to, if he continues what he's been doing the last couple of games, especially against some harder opposition, and you think maybe if Spurs can just sort out, get a Mourinho defence, they'll do the business the other end. But yeah, those front 3. Lucas Moura is a weird one. He, on his day, he can skin the whole team, but I don't think he has too many days where he will do that.
Well, he was responsible for that Champions League comeback, really, wasn't he?
Yeah.
In the semi-final against Ajax. But I mean, I still think if you're going to pick between Lucas and Bale, it's still Bale every day for me.
I think so as well. Totally agree with Bale.
Because his technique, man. You saw on Saturday those goals he scored. There's not many people that can finish it like that.
I don't know. Now what the first one where like Son put in for him. Lovely.
Yeah, well, that was just,
that's not a fucking. That's literally on a plate. Yeah, fucking send it home.
I think it's how they manage Bale now. He is made of glass. We know that. So I'd probably guess he'd probably hit a good bit of form and then probably be out for a couple of weeks. I wouldn't be surprised at that. So I think it's how they manage him, Mourinho, whether he plays him just in the Premier League or the Europa League, because he can't play like 2 games a week. Definitely not.
Well, that's the thing. It makes sense to play him in the Europa League, doesn't it? If you're going to play him against anyone, because what's more important to Tottenham now?
A trophy or
coming 6th? Coming 6th instead of 9th, or winning the Europa League?
Mourinho,
I would be the Europa League.
If I was Mourinho, I'd focus on the Premier League. I would.
Yeah, but why?
Because they got a game in hand and they're 4 points behind 6th.
I still think it's too early. But like Mourinho, when he was at United, I think he sacrificed the league when we won the Europa League. He sacrificed the league at the end, and he went for it and he won it. I think it's a little bit too early, but he is going to have to start deciding what to do that. Europa League's so long; you've got to play so many games. It feels like. I think over the next couple of weeks, if say Leicester United win a couple of games and the gap gets bigger, then I think he will be.
I think he thinks like, can you imagine I think Mourinho probably thinks, well, if they win the Europa League and they get the Champions League because of that, sick. But then also, I don't know if Mourinho wants to play. I don't know. He might not want to play in the Europa League next year. So if they came 7th, but gave Europa League a good go, and then next season they've got a clean, they're not playing as many fixtures. I think that would appeal to Mourinho.
Yeah, I think you got to compare it to the rest of the squad though. Like even if you did save Bale for the Premier League games, you've then got like Bergwijn and Lucas who can play on the right. So it's all about rotation as well, isn't it? I mean, it's all about what is your best team and when do you want to put out that best starting 11 that you've got, because there's probably not many chances, or you can't do that week in, week out. So I mean, I think you got to really look ahead and be like, all the boys are playing that game in 3 to 4 weeks' time. Do a bit of rotation, so they're not lacking match fitness then. So I mean, it's give or choose really, and they have got a bit of depth in the squad. I think it's not as if you look at their bench and you think, oh, they're gonna, there's literally no super sub they can bring on. I guess it depends on the roles each week, but yeah, like I said, they got a game in hand and they're 4 points behind sixth, and then between sixth and fourth there's 2 points. So I mean, it's not like it would be an absolute miracle. It's top. I still think top four is something that they could really go for if they really wanted to. But
especially with Leicester's injuries.
Especially with Leicester's injuries, Liverpool still got injuries. Chelsea aren't conceding, but they've had 2 draws now on the bounce. So it's not. I don't think it's totally out of reach for Spurs. But I'd be very surprised if it does happen.
They got Fulham next, and then they got Crystal Palace as well. So
I mean, easy games. Really win.
I think a lot of it relies on Jose. He can be the best thing ever at a club, or he can be the worst thing ever. So I think these last couple of months are really going to be sort of, depend on where they go next season. Especially if I don't think he can afford another dip. I don't think he's going to get sacked, but I think the players will start to get annoyed with his tactics and that, especially if they go like 1 up and then they start defending and they start losing leads. So I think they need a kick on now, and it'd be interesting to see how Jose uses Bale, because I could see him sort of just not starting him out of nowhere in some games, even when he's played well the game before. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that.
Yeah, I think it depends on who they get drawn in the Europa League stages coming up as well. Like, I think they got Dynamo Zagreb next, which, there's still obviously the English teams that are still in the Europa League, but there's still some really easy ones as well. So they could get drawn in a quarter semi-final, and it'll be an easy game, like Slavia Prague knocked out Leicester, which no one saw that happening. So it's not as if they're the hardest games in the world either, even if they do progress in the Europa League.
If they did win the Europa League, it'd be huge, wouldn't it? Europa Leagues, especially for a team who hasn't won a trophy in, I don't know, was it like 35 years or something like that?
It's a long time, yeah.
The Europa League would be a huge trophy. Like, I think League Cup would be huge to Spurs, but Europa League would be a massive one for them.
If you win the League Cup, you get the Europa League, don't you, for the next season? So if they won that, if they've won that, then it's almost like, right, just go for the 4th or win the Europa League then.
Yeah.
Doesn't really matter if they come 5th or 8th.
Yeah.
They could do a trophy.
But then I don't know when they're playing that. I say that. I don't know when they're actually. I don't even know if the cup final has been rescheduled.
Usually it's February, right?
Yeah, but they were moving it.
I think they moved it to April.
So they moved it for just to have fans back, and now obviously I think they're on about fans coming back in May, so they might move it back again.
It will only be a couple thousand, won't it?
Yeah.
25th of April, apparently now.
But from a career perspective now, as you three obviously all being Welsh, hopefully he stays injury free. I mean that, and then he'll play in the summer. But then after that, for me, I feel like this is not a last hurrah, but unless he turns it around and plays exactly like, not every game, but he plays like he did on the weekend now for the rest of the season. I feel like a move to China or America or somewhere is probably what the next move will be. But what do you guys think as Welshmen?
I think he's going to... Go on, sorry.
Well, yeah, what do you guys think as Welshmen? Do you think this summer could be his almost last... Maybe not... I don't know. Yeah, what do you think? Do you think summer could be his last thing?
To be honest, go on, if you want to go.
I was going to say, do players when they come towards the end of their career and they have like a World Cup or Euros, and I think he will have a real good Euros if he's fit, but then I think the decline will be huge after it, and I think it will be MLS or Chinese League, but I think it will take it out of him, this tournament, because I think...
He's 31, isn't he?
Yeah, he's not that old. That's how I'm thinking more. He'd probably stay. I reckon Spurs would probably send more. Is it like the end of his contract with Real Madrid as well this summer? Or is that next year?
He's just very injury prone, isn't he? That's the problem.
If he's on too much money,
he's on too much money. I can't see Spurs signing him permanently unless he completely turns it around, because he's on isn't he not on like a quarter of a million? Aren't Spurs
more than that? Yeah, I think when he's at Real Madrid, he was earning $400K a week.
Yeah, so I think Spurs are paying. They're contributing $250,000 a week for him to warm the bench. I know they would have sold a lot of shirts, but not that many shirts.
I can see him going to like Inter Miami, David Beckham's new team, something like that. Lovely golf courses out there. Do you know what I mean?
That would be nice.
Do you think he still plays for Wales in
if we qualify? If we qualify for the World Cup, he will. 100%.
we've not really got that many major stars. Like Gareth Bale's like Wales' biggest star. Like we've got a few like rising at the moment, but I think even if he went and played over in like America, he'd probably still get into the Wales team, no problem.
Yeah, it reminds me a bit like similar to like Beckham in a way. Towards the end of his career, probably still losing influence, but he'll still play, and he played for England till he was quite an older age. But just interesting, really. I think it's really, really important. Like 3 months now from Bale's his last stage of his career, really. Whether it's going to go out with a bang or whether it's just going to peter out.
Yeah,
Hopefully just stays fit.
I think
if he
this
stays
is
fit,
our,
that'd be incredible.
it's our best chance in half a century to qualify for a World Cup. Which is mad as it sounds, but it is, and especially if a good Euros again, then we will qualify, and I can't see Bale not playing in that squad if he played the World Cup. And I still think we're going to do well at the Euros this year as well, especially now with Dan James on fire as well. He's back.
We're not going to get. He's back. Everyone's back. All the Welsh boys are back. We're not going to get better than semis, are we? In the Euros, but
you never know. Magic of the Cup.
Yeah,
we did well last time.
Who did that in 2016 though? Who expected us to get to the
I didn't think
semi-final?
we'd get up to the fucking group stages.
His face as we talk about this.
It's funny because obviously today's St. David's Day, and I was gonna do a tweet out saying, happy St. David's Day, proud Englishman, I love Wales. And then I had a picture saved of Sturridge celebrating the goal he scored against Wales last minute, and I was like, I can't put this because everyone's just gonna fucking comment about how you got to the semis. Because if I don't hear it every bloody week I've been in this country since I moved here.
You'd have it. It was funny, wasn't it? That was class.
I still think that Hal Robson-Kanu goal should be a national fucking holiday in Wales, because I think we talked about it before. I can't remember what we talked about in the podcast or whether it's just between us, but that is the best goal ever scored in history for me. Like nothing tops it. The Wayne Rooney free kick that went out. The Rooney bicycle kick. The Ronaldo free kick. Nothing is on it.
Yeah,
I just pray we do something again like that in the Euros.
How come we couldn't do that anymore? Hal Robson-Kanu,
He's just getting on a bit, isn't he?
Fucking hell, he's been getting on for ages. Bless him. But mate, he was a hero in our World Cup, wasn't he? That turn against Belgium, just fucking. Oof.
But we got the potential. Kiefer Moores and Harry Wilson are playing at Cardiff now, so they're usually in the starting 11. And you got Dan James and Gareth Bale on the wings. It's just our defense that's a bit dodge. But
is our Ramsey fit at the moment? I haven't seen what he's up to.
I don't think he's
fit for you. You play for ages over there.
Yeah. Someone is he injured? I don't really hear much about him. I haven't really checked it either.
I'm getting gas for the Euros now. Something in the air.
Yeah,
fucking pissed up in the beer garden.
We'll definitely
I'm in Rome. It's on my birthday. That the Wales Italy game. I'm going to be there soon.
What if it gets rescheduled?
The game probably won't be.
Yeah, the game probably won't be. No.
Yeah, you'll be in Rome watching it in a pub whilst we're near the football.
In the fan zone.
If anything, I'll be in the away stand. I'll be in Italy, with all the Italian fans.
Watching it on a screen.
Yeah.
No, it'll probably be rescheduled. The date will. I guarantee you. You'll be over there when it'll be the fucking weekend that we play them.
No, I think UEFA said there's definitely no postponing happening. It's just the location on the matches. That's obviously subject to change. I don't know whether it makes sense to me though to have it all in one country.
Yeah, I think it does if they do hold it. You get everyone in a bubble. That's the idea, isn't it?
You said they might have some in Wales, right?
Well, yeah. If they move it to England, let's not get political, guys. All right, but that's what they're on about moving it to England. They would then reach out to Wales to host at the Principality. As it's one of the best stadiums, it's the second biggest, isn't it, behind the Wembley? So, and it makes sense. But then I don't know, having a bubble, but then moving around the whole country, I don't know. And the UK rates have not been great, but I mean, we can't really get into COVID. None of us are scientists, but I mean, personally, I hope it doesn't move. Just the only reason I don't want it to move is for you, Jack. Apart from that, it'd be sick if they do move, and even if they've got some fans in. But obviously, you've paid the money, so hopefully it will still be in Rome. But yeah, obviously, so we talked about Bale. So the conclusion is Bale is going to have an amazing end to the season. That's what you three think, yeah?
If he stays fit.
I just don't want to honestly wrap him in bubble wrap. Just keep him safe.
Keep him off golf course.
I sound like I'm sending a message to yours like his mum. Look after him, bye.
Send him a message on Instagram.
Yeah, I will.
Look after
All right. So
yourself,
the other
babe.
thing we want to talk about from the weekend, I think, was VAR / referee decisions. Controversial weekend. So the Brighton West Brom game. Yes, yeah. Sorry, I thought I messed up there, but no, it is the Brighton West Brom game.
Absolute shit show.
1-0 West Brom. Very dramatic. Doesn't look like the most interesting game on paper, but definitely was. Brighton won 1-0, but 2 missed penalties by Brighton, and then an interesting decision. Who's seen? Have we all seen the decision now?
Caught up in it
Yeah.
yesterday. It's crazy that game could have finished 3-1 Brighton.
Yeah. I mean, we have to if you haven't seen it, go pause the podcast now and then come back and watch it, come back and listen. But essentially, Lewis Dunk has taken a quick free kick after saying to the ref blown the whistle. The ref has then blown, Lee Mason has blown the whistle just before it goes in. And then he disallowed the goal. Then he decided that he was going to give the goal. And then he went to VAR. And then because he realized that he had blown the whistle the second time before the ball had gone in the back of the net, he had to disallow the goal. I think I've described it as best I could there.
Yeah, that's pretty much it
out
in
of
a
a weird
nutshell.
situation.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. What's the next point?
Stronger next.
Ref Watch on Sky Sports, they do like Ref Watch, don't they? For like the things after the weekend. And they said it was correct decision by the rules of the game, in the terms that when he blew his second whistle, the ball hadn't gone up across the line. I think it's a bit of a fuck up from just a ref. I wouldn't say this is really a VAR one, really, because we've had a lot of bad VAR ones. This one's a bit. The ref knew that the ref knew what the keeper wasn't ready. It was obvious. He was still marking them up. And fair enough if he's taken a long time to do it, but you can't just do the double. You can't do the double blow, can he?
Yeah,
so
whistle, blow, kick it, and then fucking blow again. Like it's stupid.
It was like he messed up. It's like when you make a mistake and you try and fix the mistake, and then you just end up making it worse. That's what he did. Like
he's panicked, isn't he?
If he let it go in and then he ruled it out, then it would have been like. Do you know what I mean? It would have been a bit better. Or if he let it stand, it would have been like. But the fact that he blew it twice, like just. It just. Do you know what I mean? He just completely fucked up.
What do you guys think they should have? Do you reckon he should have given it?
Well, yeah. If he told him, apparently he said he didn't just like blow the whistle. Like he said, Lewis Dunk, I think said like, "Ref, can I take it quick?" And he was like, "Yeah," and then blew the whistle.
But did he blow it a second time because it was taken too quick for him? Like, why did he blow it the second time?
I think he's blown it a second time because he's gone. Yeah, you can take it. Blown it. Then he's realised that the
keeper's still aligned in
the West Brom keeper wasn't set up, so he's tried to be like, "Oh no, you can't take it now," and then he's blown the whistle.
He's had a howler, didn't he?
If he had done that, that, right, it still would have been bad. But if he'd done that and then had said, no goal, and didn't reverse it and just said no goal, wouldn't it be as bad? But it's the fact that he was there, like crumbled under pressure and gave the goal, and then he had to go and disallow it again.
Do you know what they need to do? I reckon refs should be interviewed after the game. Not just because I want to hear Mike Dean just say some dodgy stuff, because they need to be accountable and say what was going through their mind, or either that, or just literally wire them up like rugby so you can hear them and it comes through the tannoy and the TV and that. Because half the time people just don't know. I mean, the commentators get sort of told what's going on by producers and like the other refs and that, but I think the fans need to know as well, because it can be so confusing. Like with the VAR, you don't know if they've given a pen sometimes, and it goes on for like 5 minutes. And he just needs to explain himself, basically, doesn't he?
The maddest thing about that, right, is because obviously it was the same time as the Wales-England rugby game, and I was watching the Wales smash England.
You watched Wales versus England instead of Brighton West Brom.
I know, innit?
Disgusting,
shocking, mate. Shocking. Get me off the podcast. I'll start a rugby one. A very similar thing happened. I don't know if you watched the game and saw what happened, but Josh Adams' try, the ref, I think, made a very similar mistake, because we had a penalty and Dan Bigger said to the ref, can we take it? Ref blew. He kicked it over to Josh Adams to score the goal, but then Owen Farrell was complaining that they weren't set up and the line wasn't ready. They ended up giving the try anyway, but I thought it was just a bit mad that two very similar things happened at the same time in two different sports. But I totally agree with you, because I watched the rugby with my housemate. I turned and said, I wish I could hear the refs in football like I'm hearing the referee now.
It's not just that, but it's just like when it's like I watched the footage and he's having a go at Lewis Dunk, who's then complaining afterwards, and he's like being all stern with him, and it's like, you've just completely fucked up this game, and like you're acting like you haven't. Do you know what I mean? He must know. Like what he's done. It's like, put your hands up and apologize. He went to the manager and was like, went to Graham Potter and went, I've messed up. I'm sorry. Do you know what I mean? Like you'd still be a mistake, but we would all be like less like, we'd feel more like not a connection, but like more sympathetic towards the referee.
How often does that ever happen, though? Like
it doesn't, though, but that's the problem. They just hide away. Or I remember, I saw. It was years ago, but I think like 2003, I think Blackburn was playing Man United, and like the referee then, it was such a massive deal. The ref went and spoke after like Ferguson and like apologized for what happened and said he thought it was a handball, but after seeing the video, and it's just like, it makes such a big difference, but it doesn't happen enough.
There's a lot of blurred lines, especially in football, with some rules, especially like the handball rule and that. But he's just made an error. He's just done bad refereeing.
It's a human error that's happened there, isn't it? Rather than an error of the game.
And
speaking of,
go on.
I was going to say, speaking of that other error this weekend, is with the fucking, you mentioned handballs in that Man United match now, where it hits Callum Hudson-Odoi's hand.
Yeah,
I don't understand how he got away with that. To be honest, like that's
Stonewall pen. That is Stonewall.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It is 100% pen, and he's got away with it. It's fucking on top of his hand.
I know you're looking at me because I'm being biased, right? But that is a Stonewall pen.
The handball rule. That's what I mean. It's so blurred. At the start of the season, they were like any ball touched the hand, they were giving it, and then they stopped
kick the ball into your hands.
There was been some mad ones. And again, it's so blurred. It's like, if your hand's out at an awkward position, if you move your hand towards it, depends how far away you are. And it's just confusing. It's confusing enough for the refs as well. I get it. But I thought it was a pen. And
I think now the rule is if your arm is in an unnatural position when it comes in contact with the ball, then it's a pen. And Callum Hudson-Odoi's hand was up here.
And the ball was on top of his hand.
Yeah. I've seen that picture that I think Lad Bibleson uploaded with the ball on it. Saying,
it's Paddy Power. Yes. It was,
Paddy Power. But obviously, I got to be honest, I thought it was Mason the handballed at first, because obviously after it touches it, it goes then and ricochets onto Mason's arm. So I thought he was going to give handball for that originally before I saw the replay.
It's more controversial about what Luke Shaw said, though, isn't it? That's sort of what's
I was going to bring up the whole Luke Shaw thing.
Yeah, that's an interesting one, and that's what really caught my eye was obviously Ollie as well saying about, because he name dropped Frank, didn't he? That was all that just made it more interesting for me as a neutral. Yeah. And also didn't Chelsea, like we clarified this earlier, but Chelsea put out something on their website, did they? Jack, you were telling me before.
Yeah, I'm just going to get it up exactly now. It was just a weird all-round game yesterday. Like, it was boring as fuck anyway. But yeah, on the Chelsea website, as like a preview for the game, Chelsea, I'll read it out. The Man United skipper's actions will also be under scrutiny again on Sunday after his penalty error tangle with Jamal Lascelles last weekend. In recent Chelsea meetings, the Red Devils centre-back survived VAR reviews for potential penalty foul on Azpilicueta and violent challenge on Missy Batshuayi that may well have affected the outcome. So they're pretty much saying that he's got away with VAR reviews in the past, and it will probably happen again on Sunday.
And it was one, wasn't it, as well? Didn't he bring some down?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know whether that's here. But the thing is, to back Chelsea up here, that little kick on Batshuayi that he did, he should have got punished for that, and I can't believe he just got a yellow card for it because it was fully intentional. But I mean, even putting that before a preview of a game that's yet to happen is a bit cheeky, isn't it?
Chelsea are just shit houses, isn't they? Everyone knows it. Chelsea is shit houses.
Big shit houses.
So that's a bit biased.
They are. They got the worst fans. So Luke Shaw said that he heard the ref, right, in the last game. He said that the ref said if I gave it, there would be huge controversy about me giving the pen. He said something along the lines of that. Is that right?
Yeah, the referee said Luke Shaw is saying that he heard the ref say to Harry Maguire that if I give this as a pen, people are going to talk about it in the week.
Yeah.
That's what Luke Shaw's saying that he is.
I'm sure they're talking about it more now.
He's turned the decision around now, hasn't he? And Luke Shaw's saying that he's misheard the ref.
Yeah, 'cause he
Like,
doesn't
after
want-
coming out and saying that, yeah, probably
'cause he
Ollie's
doesn't wanna
like,
get banned.
don't rock the fucking boat. Like, yeah.
Yeah. I think it should be pen, but we've seen loads of those. There's lots of times they don't get given, and sometimes they do. So I wasn't too pissed off about that at the time. But at first I thought the ref actually said he pointed to the spot. I thought at first, so I was there celebrating. I seen tweets online saying yes, pen, and then I was waiting for it to be taken, realizing they hadn't.
Yeah.
But I think they go 50-50 quite a lot of the time throughout the season.
I think obviously we only really talk about VAR when it does bad or it ruins the game, which I still think it is doing more bad than good. But I don't know if you watched the Leicester Arsenal game. I watched it before Man U Chelsea yesterday, and I think every decision they made was bang on. Like, the time was taken to come to the right decision. But obviously Luke Shaw was then saying yesterday that if they know it's not going to be a pen, then don't slow down the flow of the game because it feels like we're all restarting again. So, I mean, I don't know whether that then comes down to a decision from the referee being like, is this incident big enough to go to VAR, rather than VAR getting involved in every single call. And sometimes even spending up to 4 or 5 minutes at the screens. Players are trying to get involved by looking over the shoulder, look at what's going on. Obviously, Suarez recently was a big one. He got right up there and got a yellow card, got told F off. So I still think there's a lot of things around VAR that need to be
refined,
polished.
Yeah.
Because I still think it is doing more bad than good. But Leicester Arsenal yesterday was the perfect definition of a game without any controversy. Ref was giving calls overturned correctly. Get on with it.
Yeah.
Rather than this whole thing yesterday now, whereas like the whole game, it was a decent game. Both teams defended really well, but it seems like it was ruined by that one call.
VAR is a weird one. I think they will get better over years, but sometimes when you get a decision get like for you, you're like, I fucking love VAR. when they disallow a goal that's gone against you and it's off by a centimetre, you're like, I fucking love VAR. And then as soon as they do one against you, you fucking hate it.
Yeah.
So I think it will get better, but yeah, it's a bit up and down.
Yeah, like what you said earlier about like miking up refs, I think that could be a massive change with VAR as well. I think it would help quite a bit. Like you said, you can hear it, wouldn't it? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so you can actually hear what the fuck they think is going on, and then they can just sort of stick with that. Then, and you can hear maybe someone else disagreeing with it, and then I don't know. It sounds like it just flow a lot better.
It could easily be done. They're doing like American football, right? They're
doing fucking rugby. Yeah, they're doing everything.
So, yeah, it's all done really differently. Like
secretness. It's why is it being so secret? Like you're gonna tell us your decision anyway. May as well show us when you're conferring about it with your colleagues.
With American sports, obviously they are mic'd up, but you can't hear them all the time. But they announce the decision after they've decided it. So even something like that. I mean, obviously, we're not going to be like a hockey team where the referee goes to the middle of the pitch and announces to the whole crowd. But like something to
my team,
something to give the viewers a little bit of insight on why that decision's been made, rather than give it and everyone be like, "What the fuck has happened there?" Yeah, totally. I don't know. I wish someone would go to like the FA and just be like, "Can we just find out a reason why you haven't thought of doing this yet, or is there any reason why it's not?"
I think it will in the next 5 years, maybe.
It's got to improve, hasn't it? That's all I can do, really. It's still early days for VAR. It's just got to get better, hopefully.
Yeah, because it was the same before this VAR was even brought in. For years, everyone was like, "Why isn't there like a TMO like there is in rugby?"
Like there's a rugby. No, it's coming.
Now they've done it. Everyone's like, "It's fucking
guts full of it already." Like
people say changes there, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully soon. But yeah, that Brighton game was a madness, and I can't believe they hit the post twice.
Thing when you miss 2 penalties in a game, and even if the decision was wrong, you can't really blame. It's hard to blame anyone else for the fact that you lost the game if you missed 2 pens.
Hit the post twice, like crossbar under the left post, like.
And it was a huge game.
Deserved to lose
in the terms of sort of the relegation battle, really, wasn't it? I think both teams sort of quite far down there.
Yeah, obviously, Sheffield are basically down. West Brom, you think, are not that much better off, but it's a big win for West Brom because they're playing Newcastle next weekend, which is a huge game. That is, if West Brom win that,
monstrous game.
You know what I mean? If they win that, that means they're only 6 behind.
I told you Newcastle would be getting sucked in there.
Yeah, I can see Newcastle dropping down into it.
Is Bruce next then to get
Bruce is next.
Let's put a bet on it.
This other teams have been that much worse, but especially with Callum Wilson now, I think we mentioned before, he's out for a while, right? He's already been out
3 months.
Yeah, so they could be easily going to real bad run now. They're 3 points, 3 points above Fulham.
And Fulham are not. They've done well, I think. Fulham, they play all right football. They got some good players. Probably gone up too soon is their problem from getting relegated. With Scott Parker, I don't think Scott Parker's a bad manager either. So I would like to see him stay up. Personally,
they haven't lost in the past 5.
Yeah, I know,
which is huge
good
for them.
Guess what? They've got. Listen to this. Fulham have got Tottenham next. Then they got a Liverpool away, and then they got Man City, and then they got Leeds. They could easily lose.
Anfield's the easiest game out of that.
At the moment, maybe. Well, we're back in winning form now, so it should be all right.
So yeah, I mean, like if West Brom were to win against Newcastle, then suddenly West Brom have been just out of the picture the whole season. That would be very interesting. I just find it like with West Brom, I'm just like Big Sam never ever been relegated. If he somehow keeps them up, I don't think they will. I think they will go down. I think it's
100%.
too much. You know what I mean? Like if they did, it would just be like
West Brom have got Everton. No, so they got Everton, Newcastle, and Palace next. So
they're all winnable. Like
games.
Everton obviously are good, but like Everton can fucking. Do you know what I mean? They could go beat Tottenham and then lose to someone else. Do you know what I mean? Like So they're 3 winnable games, and it'd be interesting.
What does sort of Sheffield do? Obviously, they're going down. How do you sort of feel about that for the rest of the season? Surely you start playing better football because there's no pressure, and you just think, look, I might not play in the Premier League again. Let's go out there and enjoy myself. Try and put on a good show. Maybe someone will buy me in the summer. Surely they're going to be picking up some more points out of nowhere. They did so well last season.
I think it's the players, man. I got to be honest. John Lundstrom had a season of his, hell of a season last year. I think he single-handedly kept them up really in terms of the way he was playing in that midfield. Obviously, Ollie McBurney, great at Swans.
Dean Henderson played very well last year.
But
what I will say is, I feel like there's a lot of stick is Ramsdale, isn't it? A lot of stick has been given to him. But when you actually look at the stats, the amount of more shots he's having to save compared to Henderson is like ridiculous, and he's still making a lot of saves. Obviously, he went down with Bournemouth now, so as a young, you feel a bit bad for him because he's
relegation
back-to-back
twice in 2 years.
It's not good for his career. But they've got good individual players. They're just, Brewster, did very well at Swansea for a few months, but has not paid off because, for Sheffield United to spend 20 million on a player, you've got
same as McBurney, man. He was so good at Swans, and now he's in the Prem. He just hasn't turned up at all. And obviously, you got David McGoldrick and.
Still got Billy Sharp on the bench. Billy Sharp's been around for 20 years or something.
Ryan Brewster yesterday, he's on the bench again. What was he, 25 million? I think from Liverpool. He sat on the bench. Like, just didn't look like he had a care in the world yesterday.
He had a lot of clubs after him as well. I don't know why he went there. Do you know what I mean? It was never going to...
I couldn't believe that happened.
That was never going to be a good
season, didn't they?
No, but like you knew that like the squad they had, like they weren't a solid Premier League team. You'd think he had other options. Maybe he didn't have as many other options as we think, but
Sheffield won 3 games this season.
And Liverpool have a buyback option, don't they? Sorry, but Liverpool have a buyback option. That's not happening. Sorry, Paul.
No. Sheffield won 3 games this season. It must be just so tiring. You don't know where your next win's coming from. Every game's just an absolute slugfest.
You've only drawn 2 as well. Only drawn 2. Do you know what I mean? You should be able to pinch a draw from somewhere, like a couple of draws. Do you know what I mean? Guess a couple of points. Who they beat this season? I know it's obviously
bring it up. Go on.
Obviously they beat United, right? Trying to think who else they'd been. It's obviously not been. I'd have to
remember.
Google. Yeah, that's what it could have been that interesting. Do you know what
Tough times.
Yeah, but would you reckon like?
What relegation?
Would you think for the end of the season?
I still think that despite everything, I think the current 3 will be the bottom 3. Obviously, I think Fulham could. Oh no, another run! I feel like.
I think Newcastle are going to go down.
Oh no!
Who instead of who? Fulham.
Yeah.
The only thing is obviously just because of what we just said, like Fulham, unlike if Fulham get Fulham could easily have 0 more points in 4 games' time. West Brom could have 7. You know, it's really important the next few games. The next few games, I think, decide. Next few games, we'll know if it's either Fulham who might stay up or whether it's West Brom and Fulham giving it a go.
Newcastle, they've got a, you know, I don't know, I can't remember if I've already said this, but yeah, they got West Brom, Villa and Brighton, but then they've got Spurs, West Ham the week after, Liverpool, Arsenal, Leicester.
But they drew with Wolves last, didn't they, Newcastle? It was like a 1-1, right?
And Man City after Leicester. Sorry, so they've got Liverpool, Arsenal, Leicester, Man City on the bounce.
Tough.
Yeah,
that's fucking tough, man.
Because now you. That's what I mean. Now you're like West Brom. You know what I mean? No, but like
I kind of like the Albion. You know,
you're like they could. I might put a bet on now. West Brom to stay up.
They're gonna survive.
But Newcastle, I think, like obviously they're not been that great, and I really don't think Steve Bruce is a 2021 Premier League manager. But you feel like they've got enough play. They should have enough to stay up.
Yeah, Max Mann's back, isn't it? I think it honestly depends on Newcastle how long Wilson's out for, because he's saved their ass so many times this season.
He's out for 3 months.
He's generally a class striker.
He's out for the season.
He's not coming back for the season.
That must be so devastating, though, isn't it? You go out for this. You go out for the rest of the season. Your team gets relegated.
I base all my injuries return on fantasy team app. That's what I base them all on. I'm sure he said he's back.
Imagine being St. Maximin, picking up the ball, skinning 2 people, getting right to the byline, looking across, and Joe Linton's there.
Joe Linton's there with his thumb up his ass.
Joe Linton sounds like an English non-league striker, but he's
it's like a gap in the middle, and like Joel Linton.
You know, I source my facts from the highest sources. So according to the Fantasy Draft Team app, it says Wilson's back 20th of March.
Nah, that's bollocks. How long's he been out for already?
You're thinking 3 weeks, not 3 months, you daft fucker.
No, that 3 months just might have gone. He's been out a while, isn't he, actually, to be fair? I don't know. I could be wrong.
I need a couple chatting absolute shit.
Bro, to be fair, we get everything wrong in this podcast. So
We've been reading The Sun, like.
People don't come to us for facts. Let's get that straight. Though.
They come to us to read off Google whilst we're doing
it. Pure pub chat.
2 months. So he is going to be back before the end of the season.
Yeah, whilst they're already relegated.
Yeah, but towards the end.
I reckon Sheffield down, no surprise there. I'm saying Fulham and Newcastle go down, West Brom stay up. I think Tez, I don't know if it was
that's what I'm saying as well.
The glisten in Tez's
No, you just said you
eyes.
thought Fulham was staying up.
Did you say stay up?
I said West Brom stay up and Fulham and Newcastle go down.
Let's make it interesting. Let's write places.
Go on.
So 20th, we're all saying Sheffield United.
Sheffield for sure, yeah.
Okay, so I think it will be Sheffield 20th, Fulham 19th, West Brom 18th.
Yeah, I'd go with that as well, to be honest.
I agree with that.
Oh, okay. I thought we all go for
I think
so I'm going.
I think he's got Liverpool in there. So I don't know.
I'm going for 20th Sheffield, 19th West Brom, 17th Newcastle. Fulham will finish 18th.
What? 16th?
You've changed your mind a lot in this podcast. You just said you thought Newcastle were going down.
That's what I said. 17th.
Yeah, no, 18th go down, but
18th go down. What am I on about?
Oh my god! So you think Fulham will stay up?
Yeah, Fulham 17th, Newcastle 18th.
They've got like the hardest run of games. They're going to get absolutely battered, and they could be right in the shitter after the next 4 games.
They got Mitrovic, who's just a top goal scorer.
Top baller.
All right, we can have a look at how the table looks at the end of the season. Nice to talk about. It's been more like the bottom 4 podcast today rather than the top 4, but nice to mix it up. Thank you, boys, once again. Always lovely chatting to you about football. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, the top 4 podcast. Hit the subscribe button now. Yoki's got the subscribe thing up already. If you're listening on audio, make sure you follow on Instagram, TikTok, all of that. And we'll be getting some new guests on the show really soon. If you've got any guests that you think you'd want to, we can't get any we can't get Mourinho on next week. But if you've got any local heroes, local players, or just people who like football with basically a nice following on social media, make sure you, send them
give us a shout.
I reckon we get Roy Keane and Souness on at the same time.
Oh yeah, fuck it. That'd be my dream. Like.
All right, nice one, boys.
Nice
Take
one.
it easy.